What is going on, guys? It's Logan. We are reacting to the draft today, giving out some grades. Um, first off, or getting right into it. First off, we have the Arizona Cardinals. Um, the sorry, this is kind of slow. I'm tired. Uh, so with the first round pick, they drafted Zayvon Collins. I thought decent move, a bit of a reach. Um, with very similar to Isaiah Simmons. I think again more like freak athlete, not as much as Isaiah Simmons, but still a very good athlete. Um, so I do think it's a good pick. He should fit pretty well within the Cardinals offense, but a bit of a reach in my eyes. With their second round pick, they chose Rondale Moore out of Purdue. I thought great pick. You don't really have anybody like this. A more shifty, quick guy, as opposed to your DeAndre Hopkins or your AJ Greens. You do have Christian Kirk. He is a bit more speedy. Um, and then the only other guy that I really knew was Tay Gowan, corner out of UCF. Um, they do need to shore up their cornerback room. Obviously, up there it says they got Malcolm Butler, but Pat Pete did go off to the Vikings. So I think it is good that you shored up or tried to shore up your corners. Um, so overall, I gave the Cardinals a B. Pretty fair, not the worst draft in the world, not the best. I think you could have a bit better picks. Um, and then this video is unedited, so I do have to or you're gonna see me going from each team and then it loading. So Atlanta Falcons, obviously their first pick was Kyle Pitts, tight end out of Florida, which I think they desperately needed just because your best tight end was Hayden Hurst, not the best tight end in the world. The second round pick I thought was pretty good, Richie Grant, replacement for Keanu Neal. Pretty sure Keanu Neal left. Yeah. I thought it was pretty good value. I really like Richie Grant. Plus, they traded with, or it was a trade with Broncos where they traded back. Um, so they did get a couple or a bit of draft capital. And then in the third round, they got Jalen Mayfield. I thought this was a very good pick. Uh, he was mocked in the first round. In some of the earlier mock drafts, he did fall. So I think pretty good value for the pick. Sure up that O line, protect Matt Ryan a bit. I'm trying to think because I'm pretty sure Alex Mack is gone. He might be. Don't quote me on that. But then it was a fact of. So I'm gonna give an A minus. I was in between B plus and A minus just because I thought the first couple picks are great, and I just didn't really know anybody here. I really only heard of Frank Darby. Um, so just a bit of more guys I haven't heard of, guys I haven't really looked into. Um, but I am giving them benefit of the doubt just because I really like Kyle Pitts. Falcons getting a minus. Then we go on to the Baltimore Ravens. I usually really like the Ravens draft. They are one of the better drafting teams. But this draft wasn't my favorite in the world. There's some gum there. Um, they did get Rashad Bateman in the first, which I thought was a great move. More of a wide receiver you don't have. Uh, more of a bigger go up and get the ball kind of guy. And you got Odafe Owe in the late first with your Kansas City pick. Um, If y'all don't know, that was Jason Owe. His real name is Odafe. He just went by Jason because apparently it was easier to pronounce, which I think it is. So now he is going by Odafe, um, his actual name. So I will be calling him Odafe. So, but I thought it was a good pick. Kind of try and replace Matt Judon. Um, and then the only other guys I really know are Talon Wallace, which I don't know why, or he was one of the better receivers like a couple years ago. He kind of just like fell off the face of the earth, draft wise. So I thought that was a pretty good pick. Um, get more receivers other than Marquise Brown, or Hollywood Brown, and try and build up that receiver group. So if there's like, or you see stuff down here, that's just like the videos that come up over there. And then you also got Sean Wade. Obviously, he can't play the boundary. He sucked at it at Ohio State. So you are gonna, or his spot is a little bit more limited, but still can be a pretty good corner. So I gave the Ravens a B. Um, Again, not the best in the world, not the worst in the world. Still, I thought we had a decent draft. Now for the Buffalo Bills with their first pick, or the first pick in the first round. Let me just adjust my camera a bit. Sorry. They grabbed Gregory. So I did not like this pick. I thought it was way too early for him. I don't love Gregory, so he doesn't get pressure from anywhere other than the interior. Brody's too small to play the interior. Um, so I just don't love the pick. I think it's too early for him. Um, Plus you got AJ Epinesa in the second round last year. And then they also went Boogie Basham in the second, which I guess you do need to sure, or you do need some pass rush. Um, I just didn't love their draft. Um, I mean, they did get Rashad Wild Goose, which is great name by the way. But I just didn't love their draft, and I was debating between a B minus and a C plus. I ended up going B minus just because there were some other teams that had like the same draft that I gave, or that I also gave a B minus. Um, so Bills B minus, not the best draft. Close to C plus. So Panthers, they with their first pick, they got J.C. Horn. I didn't love this pick. I think they should have gone Rashawn Slater, or somebody else. I feel like they should be trying to protect Sam Darnold, which they did, and Brady Christensen. But I didn't love the pick. I still think he could be a pretty good player. Um, so yeah, I mean, I do like the Terrace Marshall pick just because he is a different. Oh my God, it's being buggy. He is a different sort of player than what you have. He is a more of a go up and get it kind of guy. So I do like that pick. And then I haven't looked into Brady Christensen that much. I mean, he's probably going to play on the other side of Taylor Moton. Um, I don't love the Tommy Tremble pick. It's okay. They don't really have an amazing tight end. So I get it. And then Chuba Hubbard, I actually like Chuba Hubbard. He is definitely a different pace than what they have. He's more of a true runner. Um, Not really catch out of the backfield guy. Um, and definitely not like pass blocker, but more of just straight pound it. So I think good change of pace runner. Then they also got Davion Nixon. I didn't expect Davion Nixon to be there. I thought pretty good pick. Um, so and then they also got Shy Smith. Alex Shy Smith. So overall, I think pretty decent draft. I was debating between B plus and A minus. I just gave him A minus because why not? Um, and then for the Bears, I really like the Bears draft, or I really like the Bears' first two picks. Um, so that's why they're a little lower than they could have been. I ended up giving them an A minus. They could have gotten an A, but I really like their first two picks and don't really know much about anybody else. Um, but trading up to Justin Fields, amazing. I think a really good move. If you're a Bears fan, that is your quarterback of the future, most likely. And then Tevin Jenkins, that's I think really good value for the second round. Some teams are getting or mocking him in the first, which is great if you can get him early second. Um, and so I think that is a really good pick. Apparently, he fell because of some injury concerns. Um, but I think injury concerns. Uh, but I do think that is a really good pick. They also did release their starting or they released one tackle. I think Charles Leno, just because they also got Tevin Jenkins. So the only person I've heard of is Daz Newsome. So again, I gave him an A minus. Didn't or I love their first two picks. Didn't uh really care about anything else besides that. Cincinnati. This was kind of a weird draft. You did address some stuff, but you also got some stuff I don't love. Jamar Chase pick is weird because yeah, I get you have a connection with Joe Burrow. He can be another weapon, especially like a number, a true number one. But you have T Higgins, which he's kind of like it or that. So just a weird pick. I think. I mean, he is going to be a very good receiver, but if you can't like you have to have time to throw the ball to your generational receiver. And if you don't have that, Joe Burrow is going to get hurt, possibly. B, is going to be a bad throw, or he's going to be running for his life. So I think they should have gotten O line, but they did with their second round pick. I also don't love this pick. Um, apparently, so I watched video and it said that the Bengals were are really like Jackson Carman and they're really locked in on him. Bit of a reach. Don't love the pick, but hey, if it's your guy, it's your guy. I really like the Joseph Osai pick. He was mocked in like the first a while ago, but he just fell. But I do like Joseph Osai, so I think that's pretty good, especially in the third. Cameron Sample's okay. Haven't heard of those guys. Apparently he's Evan McPherson, I don't know, as the best kicker in the draft. Um, but I think you got a kicker in the fifth. I get it's a need, but I don't love it. Um, plus I think the Ohio State kicker's better. Um, and then Chris Evans, okay. Okay. White Huber, okay. I really don't love it. Really don't care. So I gave Cincinnati a B plus. Um, and then onto the Cleveland Browns. Um, I really like Cleveland's draft. Like I really like Cleveland's draft. They are my first A of the day. Um, I think really good value for Greg Newsome, even if you already have Denzel Ward. He should Greg Newsome should be very good. um, especially if he fell to you at 26. So I do like the Greg Newsom pick. I really, really like the Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah pick. I don't know why he fell. Maybe teams just didn't know where to put him. Maybe they thought he's undersized. I don't know. I really like JOK. I think really good value for the late second round. Um, Plus, I've had the Browns get him in the first. So I think overall really good pick. I don't love the Anthony Schwartz pick. Um, I do like the Tommy Togiai pick, and then I really like the Demetric Felton pick. I re- I just really like Demetric Felton. Showed out at the Senior Bowl. Uh, I just think he can be a gadget player, like kind of a reverse Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara is a running back. He's a receiver or running back converted receiver. Uh, but he can be your slot guy. He can be like catch out of the backfield guy. Kind of like Curtis Samuel in a way. But I also like Richard LeCount. I think that was a pretty good pick. So again, first A of the day goes to the Cleveland Browns. Then down to the Cowboys. Um, I really didn't love the Cowboys draft. I'm sorry if you're a Cowboys fan. I don't like the Micah Parsons pick. I really don't. I feel like you already have two other guys like that, and Landon Vaden. Nope, Leighton Vander Esch. Yeah, and Jalen Smith. So I didn't love that pick. Um, I do like the Kelvin Joseph pick. Um, Going back to the Micah Parsons pick, I get you can kind of feel trapped just because um, you're the two corners you're potentially drafting went two picks, or like it went 1 and 2 picks ahead of you. Um, so if you feel like, hey, this is best defensive player in the draft or left, we should probably get him. So I think okay, I don't love it. Um, and then Oza Digazua, I think that's how I say it. Okay, Chauncey Golston, okay. Jabril Cox, I feel like should have gone higher, but I don't get why the Cowboys drafted him. Just another linebacker. You have like 6 linebackers that you don't really need. And then the other guys I just haven't really looked into. So I gave the Cowboys a B minus. I didn't love their draft. Um, so down to the Broncos, my beloved Broncos, and I really like our draft. More and more I look at it, the more and more I love our draft. I get some people are like, "Oh, but you didn't get a quarterback at number 9. You could have gotten Justin Fields. You said you love Justin Fields to the Bears at 11." I love Justin Fields to the Bears at 11. I like the Bears move up and get Justin Fields at 11. I just think that again, I like Drew Lock. I think George Payton, our GM, likes Drew Lock. I feel like maybe there's a sense of, hey, you can get or you can possibly get Aaron Rodgers. And if you don't get Aaron Rodgers, you still have Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater, who can be decent. They're not amazing. They are certainly not amazing. They're certainly not Aaron Rodgers. At the end of the day, if I choose Aaron Rodgers or Drew Lock, I'm going to choose Aaron Rodgers 10 times out of 10. Um, but I do have, I think, let Drew Lock prove himself in an actual year. So, also, another thing on Aaron Rodgers, I really don't want to like trade actual players to the Packers. Like I don't want to trade Bradley Chubb. I don't want to trade Cortland Sutton. I don't want to trade Justin Simmons to the Packers. I really rather it be picks based. Um, just give them like a ton of firsts or seconds. Um, back to the draft, they got Pat Sertan in the first, which most people are going to be like, but didn't they get Kyle Fuller and Ronald Darby? Yeah, but you can't have enough corners. Plus, Bryce Callahan and Kyle Fuller only have a year left on the contract. So I think George Payton is looking more into the future. And I think you can only keep one of those guys between Kyle Fuller and um, Callahan. And then I also think if the injury if the injury bug hits us again, then you do have depth. I think this draft is really, really about depth and looking into the future. If um if Kyle Fuller goes down, there you go, Pat Sertan. If one of these other guys goes down, there you go. You have Michael Ojemudia. Um, so I think this pick, I really like this pick. Plus, after this season, Pat or in the next like couple years, Pat Sertan can become one of or your number one DB and possibly one of the best cornerbacks in the league. So I really like the Pat Sertan pick. And then next to the Javonte Williams pick. Some people say you reached. Why did you trade up to Atlanta? Or with Atlanta. I like this pick. Melvin Gordon ain't gonna be here for that much longer. Plus, I think Javonte Williams can take over in probably by week 10, I'd say. Maybe earlier. I think he is going to be your running back of the future. So I really like this pick. Obviously, Philip Lindsay is gone, and he tweeted out crying, not crying face, like laugh crying face emojis at the pick. But I do really like the Javonte Williams pick. Quinn Miners, I really like this pick. They announced him as a guard. I don't know why it says center. He did play at a D3 school, but I still really like him. He showed out at the Senior Bowl. Um, and I don't think he's gonna play at center. Just because you already have Lord Cushenberry there. I think he's gonna fight for Graham Glasnow's spot. Glasgow. Um, Possibly Dalton Reisner. You could possibly move Dalton Reisner to right tackle. Or back up Jawan James at right tackle in case Jawan James gets hurt because they're putting a lot of eggs in the basket of Jawan James. But I think this just gives you more depth in being able to shore up your offensive line even more. Then Baron Browning, also in the third. I really love this pick. I think this is a steal. Um, he is going to be a very good, more athletic coverage linebacker, which I don't have. Don't love the Kitten Stearns pick. I do really love the Jamar Johnson pick. This is going to be your safety 3. And once Kareem Jackson's gone, your safety 2, right behind Justin Simmons. So I think Jamar Johnson and Justin Simmons can be one of the best safety duos in the league, which is great. I know a couple people were bagging on Seth Williams. They've said that this is purely special teams, which I love. They brought in Mike Boone to be purely special teams, which the Broncos had the one of the worst special teams units in the league. So I think if you're trying to build up your special teams, great. Again, Kerry Vincent Jr., more depth. Jonathan Cooper, more depth. I don't really know Marquise Spencer, but hey, I really love this draft class. I know I've been talking for a long time. This is going to be a longer video. Um, but I really love the Broncos draft class. Uh, I don't think there's much bias in this, but I do give the Broncos an A. I really love our draft class. giving a lot of depth at positions of need. So Broncos get an A. Onto the Detroit Lions. I think this also was a pretty good draft class for the Lions, even though the Lions suck at drafting. I feel like this was a pretty good draft class. This also is more looking into the future, and this is more in the trenches. Sure, or you got Panay Sewell, which I think great pick. Uh, try and um, try and protect Jared Goff, uh, which great. You get your offensive tackle of the future. Two really good tackle or D tackles in Levi and Onzurike. Yeah, and Aleem McNeil is gonna be more of a nose tackle or run stopper. Levi Onzurike is gonna be more pass rushy, I think. Um, I love Ifa Tumefonmu. Uh, hopefully I said that right. Um, I love him as like cornerback depth, and I think in the third round, great. I love Amon St. Brown. I really like him going in the fourth. Um, so try and build up that um, wide receiver core. I don't really get the running back pick. You already have DeAndre Swift. So I don't really love that. So overall, I gave the Lions an A minus. Really, or I really do like Lions draft class. Great job. GB. I didn't love their draft. I'm gonna be honest with you. I did not love their draft. I did give them a B plus, but I think taking Eric Stokes in the first round, not my favorite thing. I get you need to shore up corner. Kevin King sucked. Damaris Randall is not great, but I think Stokes is a bit of a reach. I don't think. Sorry, my dog. Um, I don't think you'll be able to. Um, you wouldn't have been able to get him like if you would have stayed where you were at pick 30. Um, but I do think, or 30 in the second round. My God, my dog is going crazy. I'm sorry about that. But I do think it's okay if you feel like this is your guy, you should go get him. Josh Myers, I feel like is a bit of a reach. Oh my God, she's just like, hmm, turn the headphones up a bit. Um, and Amari Rogers, I really like the Amari Rogers pick. Um, gonna be, yeah, he's gonna be another. I think I feel like this is a guy who's gonna be bigger. I might be thinking of Cornell Powell. I might be. I don't know. I get them confused sometimes. But I don't. Other than that, I don't really love anybody other than Shamar Jean Charles. I've heard a bit of about him. So again, not great, but I do think it's not the worst thing in the world. What is the worst thing in the world is the Texans draft. Sorry if you're a Texans fan. I really do feel bad for you. Your team is a dumpster fire. They didn't have any picks to begin with. They didn't have any. Their first pick was 67 in the third round, or not the 67th pick in the third round, 67th overall, pick 3 in the third round. But I really didn't like your draft. They grabbed Davis Mills, which guess if you think Deshaun Watson's going, then you should probably get him. Um, but I think it's just early. It's just early. I don't love it. I really don't love it. Um, he ain't athletic. He's more of a pocket passer, so you're gonna have to change your offense a lot from what Sean Watson does. And then the Nico Collins pick, they traded up for this pick, which I really don't love because they also gave a lot to trade up. And for a receiver, you already have Brandon Cooks and you have Randall Cobb and you have some of these older other guys. But I really don't love this pick. Brevin Jordan, okay, you already have like 6 tight ends. I just don't love this pick. And then the other two guys I've never heard of. So I really don't love their draft. I really don't. I think it's on the verge of being a C minus, but I can't. I gave him a D plus. I'm just gonna tell you this is the worst draft grade that I gave to anybody. Um, Seattle had only 3 picks, and I gave them a B plus. I mean, this is also factoring in they traded all of their like early picks for Laramie Tunsil, who's been okay. He's been decent. He hasn't been anything like spectacular. And Kenny Stills, who is off the team. So this these picks weren't worth as much as they were worth. Like it's the number 3 overall pick. Which at the time, I guess it's not worth that much. You were a somewhat playoff team. But I really hated the Houston draft. I'm sorry, Houston fans. It's just bad. Then the Colts. Their first round pick was Quiddy Pay, which I get Justin Houston is leaving or left already. I'm not sure. But I think there are bigger things to address. They did not get any off, or they got Will Fries in the 7th. Who's gonna play at left tackle? Who's gonna protect Carson Wentz at left tackle? He, for him to be good, I think he has to have at least a decent offensive line. And I mean, there is a decent offensive line. You do have Quentin Nelson, who is arguably one of the best guards in the league. But you don't have anything at left tackle. Anthony Costanzo retired, and they didn't get anyone or any tackle. I mean, I don't even know who Will Fries is. He might play a tackle. I don't know. But if you just go down this, Kwity Paye, Dare Yingbo, okay, they're both defensive end, edge. Will give you some pass rush. Oh my god, my dog. Kylan Granson, never heard of him. Went to Southern Methodist. Sean Davis, never heard of him. Went to Florida. Okay. I really don't get the Sam Ellinger pick. I really don't. You got Jacob Eason last year with a late round pick. I'm pretty sure it was a 6th. I don't get this pick. Who you have now? Carson Wentz, Jacob Eason, Sam Ellinger. What's that do for you? You gonna play Sam Ellinger like a Taysom Hill? I don't think so. So you just got this quarterback for nothing. So overall, I didn't love their draft. I give them a B plus, more likely a B. I just don't love this pit or this draft for the Colts. I feel like there are bigger needs to address. You didn't address them. It's whatever at this point. Next, Jacksonville. I like their draft. I like Jacksonville's draft. Obviously, yeah, you do have number 1 picks all across the board. Um, like, but I think what you did with those, besides some of the later ones, I like their draft. I really like Trevor Lawrence, obviously. Travis Etienne, I know some people are bagging on it, but it's okay in my eyes. It's not the worst pick in the world. Like it's okay. I do think he's a different pace from James Robinson. He's good. So my dog's annoying. But he is a different pace from James Robinson. He's gonna be more home run speed, catch out of the backfield. Not that James Robinson didn't do that, but he's gonna be a better receiver for you. Um, so I think overall good pick. Next, Tyson Campbell, bit of a reach, but I mean you also paid a lot of guys a lot of money. Um, like you gave Shaq Griffin a ton, big contract. You gave Sidney Jones a lot of money, or you got Sidney Jones back. So yeah, like I said with the Broncos, it's not a bad thing to have a lot of corners. You also got C.J. Henderson last year, but I do think it's a decent pick. I don't love it. I don't hate it. I really don't hate it. With this other second round pick, they got Walker Little. He can be great for you if he can say, or if he's not injured or doesn't have these health concerns. Um, but I do think pretty good pick. Then Andre Cisco, pretty good pick. He's gonna help him with safety. Their best safety was Wingard. I don't even know his last or first name. So I think pretty good pick. J2 Fele. I like that. You, I can't even think of their D tackles. Oh no, I think he's on their ends. Um, no, he's on. I think some Hamilton. He played for OSU. Um, but don't know much about Jordan Smith. A lot of UAB. Luke Farrell, obviously OSU guy. I like him. Um, you probably could have just tight end early in the draft. Um, but he can be okay. Gonna be more of a blocker than anything. Jalen Camp, I just don't know much about. So overall, good draft. I'm trying to decide. I wrote down A, but now that I speak about Tyson Campbell, it's leaning closer to an A minus. But take it how you want it. A minus. Um, so next, Kansas City. I hate your team, but your draft was decent. Or not decent. It was pretty good. I hate saying that as a Broncos fan. Um, your two first picks, great. I really like Nick Bolton. I really like Creed Humphrey if he can stay on the field. Plus, he shares up your O line. Great picks. I like Cornell Powell. He's going to be different, or he's going to be a more vertical threat, but I still think pretty good pick. Trey Smith, probably playing at tackle. If there's not major health concerns, he is way higher. So, or can be a way better player. So overall, good pick. I gave KC A minus just because I don't know Noah Gray. I don't know Joshua Kando. I don't know. All right. Next, the Chargers. Um, this was decent draft. I really love their first two picks. But I don't really like anything other than that. I really like Rashawn Slater. He fell in your laps. That's great. Protect Justin Herbert. And then their second pick, Asante Samuel Jr. I think great pick for or great value. Obviously it said A plus over or right there. Um, I don't really know anybody else. I've heard of Chris Rumpf. I've heard of Josh Palmer, but I don't know. Um, so I wrote B plus. Yeah, I think B plus. Um, overall, pretty good draft. Chargers. Still hate that saying that as a Broncos fan. But yeah. So as Broncos, Chargers. Obviously, we still don't like them, but I think they're on the lower end of we hate you, just because they haven't been good, frankly. But like my audio just like, oh, I know what happened. All right. But like with the Raiders and the Chiefs, KC, I hate, but I think they're like if the teams I hate, one being I hate you the most is Raiders, Chiefs, Chargers. Um, just because the Raiders have been the best the longest, um, or better the longest. I mean, they haven't been better than the Broncos, but I think Raiders. I also just don't like them. Plus, their draft was hilarious. Anyway, on to the Rams. I really didn't like the Rams draft. I actually hated the Rams draft. I hate the Tutu Atwell pick, especially. Way too high for that guy. You talk about Devontae Smith being underweight at 160. This dude is like 150, maybe 145. That's like 30 pounds heavier than me. That, that's real bad durability concerns, and he's just going to be a straight flyer. He's just gonna run go routes and like uses blazing speed to run past you. Which why'd you? I'm sorry. Why'd you pay Deshaun or not Deshaun Watson, Deshaun Jackson? Because he's the exact same guy, especially when he was younger. Obviously he's older, but I just don't love the pick. And I just don't know anybody here. Like I never heard of half the guys here, and I have heard of a lot of people. Um, I just don't love their draft. I wrote B minus. I'm gonna give him C plus. Just sorry if you're a Rams fan. I just don't like this draft. I'm sorry. Raiders. This was a weird draft because the Raiders did a very Raiders move. Unsurprising, I know. They got Alex Leatherwood in the first. He could have been a second most, third most likely second round draft pick. So I think you switch the top two players, people aren't making a fuss. But I think it was also a really good move to trade up for Trayvon Merrick. You don't have great safeties. You really don't. Um, you don't have a great secondary in general. So I think those kind of offset each other. I really don't like the Alex Leatherwood pick. There are so many better tackles on the board. I feel like the Raiders, if they lock in on a guy, that's a guy they're going after, no matter what. So I really don't love their first round pick. Second round pick, really love that pick. Third round pick, really don't like it. Kind of reach. And then third round pick, Divine Diablo. One of the best names in the draft behind Stone Forsyth. Not behind Stone Forsyth. Probably the best name in the draft ahead of Stone Forsyth. Um, but Divine Diablo is going to be more of an inbox guy. Gonna be another safety for you. Great. Tyree Gillespie, really don't know much about him. I've heard decent things about him. So great. And then I just haven't heard of anything other than about the other guys. So I just gave the Raiders a solid B. Not the most bad, not the worst thing in the world. Certainly not the best. Now to the Dolphins. They had a pretty good draft. I didn't love some of their picks. I think the first four, great. Jalen Waddle, gonna be a stud. Jalen Phillips, if he can stay healthy, gonna be a stud. Javon Holland, gonna be a stud. Liam Eichenberg, probably going to be a stud. These just all field positions of need, and they're all pretty good players. So I think good job on the Dolphins. Then these other guys, I really don't love. Hunter Long, okay. Larnell Coleman, I ain't ever heard of you. And then Jared Dokes, I ain't ever heard of you. But I don't know why you need another mediocre running back that you're probably gonna cut. Cause who they got? Miles Gaskin and Salvon Ahmed. You add a seventh rounder to that, three mediocre running backs. You don't. It's just. Mm, their running back room is one of the worst I've seen in a while. Probably the worst in the league. Maybe. Texans ain't good. Really ain't good. Um, Philly ain't good. I know people are gonna say, "Oh, but Miles Sanders, he ain't good. He can't stay on the field half the time." So I give Miami an A minus just because I really like the first four picks. I thought they did really well with that. Um, and then on to Minnesota. This keeps jumping and it's weird. The Vikings. I thought they had a pretty good draft. I really like them trading down and then getting Christian Darrisaw. Uh, who? They traded with the Jets. That's right. I thought you got a lot of value with that, and you got a steal with Christian Darrisaw. There were. I thought they were probably going to go Elijah Vera Tucker, which the Jets ended up taking with that pick. But overall, good first round for the Vikings. Kellen Mond, okay, he might be your he might be your starter behind Kirk Cousins. I think Tyrod Taylor might be there now. No, RG3. RG3 there's now. Or is there now. So if he can be groomed behind Kirk Cousins and some of these veteran guys, he can be pretty good. Just needs to work on consistency. Chaz Surratt, bit of a reach, but okay. Wyatt Davis, I really like Wyatt Davis. I don't know why he fell so much. So good pick. Patrick Jones, good pick. Um, and I just don't know these other guys. I know Amir Smith Marset, and Jalen Twyman, but overall, pretty good draft. I give him an A minus. Um, on the better side of things, and then we go to the New England Patriots. They had a pretty good draft. I know people are gonna say Mac Jones was amazing. I don't think so. I really don't like Mac Jones. I'm one of the Mac Jones haters. Actually, I don't like him. Not because I don't think he's a good guy. I just don't see a top 15 pick in him. Um, Second round, trading up with Cincy to get Christian Barmore. Pretty good. He's really only going to be on downs some of the time, and he's only there for pass rush, which, okay, great. Ryan Perkins, another Chase Winovich, which I guess cool. You have two edge rushers, which you need. Ramondre Stevens, kind of like Trey Sermon, or downgraded Trey Sermon. I think I might be thinking of someone else. But overall, decent. Cameron McGrone. I really like Cameron McGrone. It's hard to say that fast. But I think, especially in the fifth, especially going to the Patriots, pretty good. Um, so I overall like their draft. I'll give them a B plus, just because I don't. Some of the guys aren't as proven, and I just don't really know them. Then to New Orleans. I didn't love New Orleans draft. Oh, my neck hurting. Oh, this has been going for 50 minutes. I'm sorry, this is such a long video. New Orleans is okay. Payne Turner, bit of a reach. Pete Warner, okay, that's fine. Paulson Adebo, I think that's how you say it. I think I call him Adebayo. I don't know where I got a Y. But pretty good pick. They traded with Denver, which was nice. So overall, the big thing, I have no idea why they got Ian Book, especially in the fourth. I mean, if you already have Taysom Hill, who you gave a lot of money, you already have Jameis Winston, who Drew Brees says this is your team. Why are you drafting Ian Book? It just don't make sense to me. I don't like the pick. And then the other two guys, okay. I just gave New Orleans a B. Really not my favorite draft. Yeah, B's are the new C's, I guess. Giants. I like the Giants draft. I really do. I really like the Kadarius Toney pick in the first round. I like the Azeez Ojulari pick. I like Aaron Robinson. I like Emerson Smith. I don't really know about these two guys. Um, I have seen and heard good stuff about Emerson Smith, but he's a guy I haven't seen major stuff. But okay. Aaron Robinson gonna be more of a slot guy. Cool. You did bring Adoree Jackson in, and you already have James Bradbury. But yeah, you can't have enough corners. Ezekiel Ojulari, I think that's great value for him. In the second or mid late second. So that's a good pick. I really like Kadarius Toney. I will say A+ over there. Um, so I gave him an A-. Just because some of these other guys, I don't know. And then going on to their neighbors, the New York Jets. Um, this, alright, some of the later picks I just don't know about. But Zach Wilson, great. You can hopefully get your franchise quarterback. Um, I did not know BYU stood for Brigham Young. But great. Trading up for Elijah Vera Tucker. I thought that was a good move. Um, try and shore up that O line after getting Mekhi Becton last year. Elijah Moore, I think that's really good. I don't. Is Mississippi really Ole Miss? He's out of Ole Miss. But I think at the top of the second, great. Michael Carter. I really like Michael Carter. I think can be one of the better running backs in the class. But just these other guys, I don't know. Hampson is Hampson. Uh, okay. I've heard good stuff about him, but other guys, I just don't know. So, with that, I gave him an A-. And then on to the Eagles. Man, I'm gonna chug some water after this. Eagles. I thought their draft was okay. I like the Devontae Smith pick, especially them trading up. If it was only 2 spots, okay. But I think try and get a actually fast guy. And then Landon Dickerson, if he can stay on the field, great. If not, whoops. Milton Williams, okay, he can be decent. I don't know about Zach. Eh. Kenneth Gainwell was pretty good. Marlon Tuipulotu, okay. Um, but yeah, I gave him a B+. Yeah. Um, overall decent draft. It's okay. Where was I? Steelers. Yep. I did not like the Steelers draft class, especially the early stuff. Najee Harris, okay, if you can feel like he's gonna fix your running game after not or like you need an O line to run or do anything really. You didn't get O line till round 3 when it's one of your top needs. So I don't love that. Pat Fryermuth in the second. Why are you getting running back and tight end with your first 2 picks? Does not make sense to me. Some of the most replaceable positions in the league. So I don't love those 2 picks. Um, the only other guy I really know something about is Quincy Roche. I think decent value for there. I saw him getting mocked to the Broncos like really early on in the first round. So hey, I guess that's decent value. But I gave the Steelers a B minus. Um, okay, didn't love it. Um, maybe C plus range if you're really feeling spiteful. San Francisco. I mean, I did tell y'all about Trey Lance. Am I, so I don't want to like toot my own horn here, even though I do. But I thought, or in my last 2 mock drafts, which were when the 49ers moved up, I both of them I had them taking Trey Lance. So I might have been the first one to feel good about him. No, I'm not. But nah, there was like suspicion about them taking Trey Lance like the day before. But overall, Trey Lance, good pick. I don't really know what your quarterback situation is gonna look like. If you have Jimmy G starting this year, great. Trey Lance can sit behind Jimmy G. Um, Aaron Banks, don't know much about. Trey Sermon, little high for him. Uh, Probably could have gone in the fourth, but okay. Ambry Thomas, okay. Jalen Moore, really don't know that much about him. I'm just gonna try and pronounce this. Ready? Talanoa Hufanga. Hope I said that right. But okay, running back, I don't get. I really don't get. I know you got Trey Sermon, or you just got Trey Sermon, and you already have Matt Breida. Wait, is Matt Breida still on the team? He might not be. Um, they just have a revolving rotation of running backs. The 49ers seem like a team that just loves running backs. Like they value running back very highly. Um, so I think they just get a lot of running backs. Okay. I gave San Francisco a B. Um, okay draft. I think Trey Lance really pulled him ahead. Now on to the Seahawks. Like I said at the Texans, the Seahawks only had 3 picks. Most of that's because they traded for Jamal Adams, which I have to account that as why they don't have so little picks. So, I mean, Jamal Adams was okay. I think he's gonna be better this year. But Dwayne Eskridge, I really like Dwayne Eskridge. Um, so I think that's a good pick. Stone Forsythe in the sixth. I think that's pretty good value upon a great name. Um, so I think overall decent. I don't know that much about Trey Brown. So I gave him a B plus. Just adding Dwayne Eskridge plus Stone Forsythe plus Jamal Adams. Gave him a B plus in my book.